Hello and welcome to Burlington Athletic Stadium here in Burlington, North Carolina, known by some as Sockville. The Greenville Flyboys are getting set to close a week-long road trip here against the Burlington Sock Puppets, looking to sweep a quick two-game series in North Carolina. Nick Rodecap with you on the Flyboys Baseball Network. The Flyboys have had a very good road trip overall. 3-1 with a rainout included because, well, it's the Flyboys in 2025 after all. But Greenville came to Burlington last night, and as you just heard on the highlights, took advantage of a lot of free bases, some pitching and defensive mistakes by a team that is usually the best in both of those departments, winning that game by a final score of 17-5. This is a 7-inning game, as all Sunday games are in the Appalachian League. So the Flyboys, well, the good thing for them is that the last two nights, the third inning has been the one where they've done the bulk of their damage. In their last two games, the Flyboys have scored 14 runs in the third inning. 8 of those came last night. The Flyboys controlled it from there on out. The Flyboys are managed today not by Jack Wilson, but by Jared Miller. Wilson is in Atlanta with his son Jacob, who is getting set to start for the American League in the All-Star game at shortstop. So Jared Miller takes over the managerial duties here tonight. The lineup is as follows. Reed Hare is in center field leading off. Peyton Miller at shortstop batting second. Ezra McNaughton at designated hitter batting third. Lane Akers is the first baseman batting cleanup. Cameron Kim at third base batting fifth. Jace Patton is the second baseman batting sixth. Dylan Jackson is the catcher batting seventh. TJ Adams in left, he bats eighth. And batting ninth is the right fielder, Micah Jordan. Burlington will go with right-hander Andrew Steinhaus on the mound. Steinhaus pitches at Radford in Virginia. He's been there for a couple seasons. This is his third summer in the Appy League, but so far it's not going too swimmingly. He's making his fifth start of the season here tonight, but he's allowed 9 earned runs in 16 innings. That's an ERA of 5 flat. Walks have been a problem for him, just like they were for Burlington's pitching staff last night. 14 walks to just 11 strikeouts. He's also given up 17 hits. Reed Hare stepping into the lefty batter's box. The right-hander Steinhaus winds and delivers the first pitch, and Hare fouls it back. We're underway at 5:29 local time on this Sunday afternoon. Hare was very productive last night. Had a bases-clearing double in that big third inning. Here's the 0-1. Hare takes outside. Hare had 5 RBIs, 4 walks, 2 of which came with the bases loaded to add to his 3-run double. 1-1. Steinhaus, the wind in the pitch. Hare takes high again. But to give you some perspective on the skid that Burlington is on right now, as the righty Steinhaus fires the 2-1, Hare fouls it back into the netting directly under us. Burlington has allowed 41 runs over its last 3 games. This was a team that entering this week had the best ERA in the Appy League, bar none. They were just over 4 as a team. Here's the 2-2. Hare hits a fly ball foul toward the parking lot. That might hit a car. But Burlington gave up 24 runs in its 2-game series sweep against Bristol. The State Liners, despite being in last place, swept the Sock Puppets, who were in first at the time. Here's another 2-2. Hare strikes out swinging. That sinking fastball from Steinhaus up to 92. And the leadoff man is gone here in the top of the first. Here's Peyton Miller back in the lineup. He didn't play last night, but he's manning shortstop here this evening. It's a good start for Steinhaus. Yesterday's Burlington starting pitcher Lance Hartley needed 30 pitches to get through the first, although the Flyboys did not score. Miller squares to bunt, watches in the dirt for ball 1. Brian Carruthers is the catcher for Burlington. Bromley Thornton is at third base. He's a two-way player. Preston Youcher, I should say, is the shortstop. Orlando Fernandez at second, and Caden Combs is back at first base. Here's the 1-0. Miller takes a low outside strike. Zach Jackson is in left field. Chancellor Jennings is in center, and Wade Shelley is in right field for the home nine. Steinhaus winds and delivers. Miller hits a foul ball back to the screen. That ball, I think, hit the press box to my right. There was a pop-up shower that passed through right about the time we went on the air, just shy of 15 minutes ago. And so I had to break out my umbrella, which I very astutely purchased at Dick's Sporting Goods a few hours ago. 1-2, Miller hits a chopper to the left side. First chance for the third baseman, Bromley Thornton. The throw is offline, but Miller is tagged out by Caden Combs. The first baseman came off the base to catch the errant throw and then tagged Miller, who, though he tried to slide under the tag, could not evade it successfully. So score at 5-3, but with some extra fireworks. First two men gone in the top of inning number 1. Now here's Ezra McNaughton. The only time I've ever heard that whistle after a batter goes down is after a strikeout at Yankee Stadium. First pitch to McNaughton, swung on in line, but right at the second baseman, Orlando Fernandez, and that's the inning. Burlington had McNaughton played perfectly right there. Flyboys go down in order in the top of the first. We'll see what starting pitcher Matthew Egan can do for Greenville as we go to the bottom of inning number 1. Greenville nothing, Burlington coming to bat on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys and Sock Puppets scoreless after a half here from Burlington, North Carolina, the home of the Burlington Sock Puppets, which you'll hear a lot of people term Sockville, which I think is pretty cool. Matthew Egan is on the mound for the Flyboys. He's a right-handed pitcher out of Queens University in Charlotte, North Carolina. So pitching back in the state where he plays his college ball here on this Sunday afternoon. Egan so far this season has allowed 12 runs in 14 2/3, but he had a very good start last Sunday against the Bluefield Ridge Runners, delivering 5 1/3 innings of 1-run ball despite allowing 7 hits. He needed 85 pitches to do it, and that's the kind of length that the Flyboys will be looking for today. But Egan's got to face one of the best offensive teams in the league that, yes, was held to just 1 earned run yesterday, but is still very capable of putting up crooked numbers on any given day. First pitch misses outside, and I think Burlington made a really late lineup change because Ariel Antigua was supposed to be the leadoff man, but DJ Merriweather is pinch hitting for him here. So Antigua, at least for the time being, will not play tonight, which was what was initially expected as Egan misses low and a bit outside. Antigua was penciled in as the designated hitter, but with Merriweather in the box, I think we can safely infer that Ariel Antigua will not play. The next pitch to Merriweather is a called strike, and it's 2-1. That is a very interesting change. That is not at all what anybody was expecting. The official scorer even had Antigua in there. Next pitch is a called strike from Egan, and it's 2-2. So we will pencil DJ Merriweather in there. Antigua, of course, known well around these parts because he will be the starting shortstop for Tennessee next season. Here's the 2-2. Merriweather strikes out swinging. Egan got him on the fastball. And now it should be Orlando Fernandez next, but you never know based on the pinch hitter to start the bottom of the first. Antigua is hitting .517 so far. Now, he has not played in even half of Burlington's 33 games, but he's as close to automatic as it gets at the top of the lineup, so that is a big loss for Burlington. Here is Orlando Fernandez swinging and driving the first pitch toward deep right center field. Micah Jordan hustles back there and nearly collides with Reed Hare, but Jordan makes the catch just shy of the right center field wall for out number 2. Both Jordan and Reed Hare have very good speed in the outfield, so that could have been a nasty collision, but the two of them are okay, exchanging pleasantries out there. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the first. Now here's Caden Combs. Had a couple RBIs last night. Matthew Egan, the right-hander, quickly to work. Combs takes low and away. Dylan Jackson is the Flyboys catcher this afternoon. Cameron Kim at third base. Peyton Miller is at shortstop. Jace Patton is back at second. And Lane Akers mans first base. Here's the 1-0 to Combs. A strike on the outside part of the plate. The left fielder is TJ Adams, and we just met Reed Hare in center and Micah Jordan in right. I just heard some thunder off to the right. There is a very dark cloud over there. I think that's within 8 miles of the field. Here's the 1-1. Combs takes in the other batter's box. And again, I've talked about this a few times, but as I look to my right, there looks to be a thunderstorm over there. I am outside. There is nothing protecting me from the elements besides this umbrella that I got. So if we abruptly go off air, that is because I've got to protect the equipment and make sure that nothing suffers water damage. 2-1 to Combs is fouled back. That ball landing in a tree beyond the concourse behind home plate. But because this is a 7-inning Sunday game, it will be official after 4. 3.5 if Burlington is leading. Egan looking to match Steinhaus with a 1-2-3 first. Here's the 2-2 to Caden Combs. Outside, Egan missing with the fastball. And whenever there is weather in the area, it's up to the umpire's discretion to decide when to stop the game. This is a getaway day for the Flyboys, so you'd imagine that the umpires will want to play this game out. Here's the 3-2 to Combs. Swinging a hard ground ball to the right side. That ball is through for a 2-out single. Caden Combs has his second hit of this 2-game series. So a 2-out base runner gives the cleanup man Bromley Thornton a chance to hit. And that is a really loud thunderclap over to the right. It's gotten the umpire's attention. That's definitely within 10 miles, and if I'm being honest, I'm kind of concerned for my own safety. But the home plate umpire, James Chestnut, and Danaeus Johnson, the field umpire, saying, nah, we're good. So here's Bromley Thornton. He did not play last night. Thornton out of UNC Wilmington. First pitch, Thornton takes inside. See him sporting that dark blue protective gear on his shin and his elbow. Burlington back in the home whites. Sock puppets across the front in script orange. The numbers are light blue, everything outlined in black. Egan is ready. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A chopper to the left side. That ball is foul. Flyboys in their navy uniforms with script Greenville across the front in red. Outlined in white. They've got red caps. Burlington with black batting helmets. I don't know if that thunderstorm is moving toward us or away from us, but the thunder seems to have gotten louder. Right on cue. Here's the 1-1. Upstairs, Egan misses with the fastball. And now the home plate umpire, James Chestnut, took a look over there. I don't know how much longer we're going to play. There are blue skies directly overhead, but I don't know if you can hear the thunder on the broadcast. The wind is blowing in and slightly toward the third base dugout. 2-1 fouled back. And with the wind blowing in that direction, that seems to indicate that perhaps this thunderstorm is coming toward us. And if I sound like I'm playing weatherman a little bit more than usual, it's because, again, I'm outside, and there is nothing protecting me from the elements. But you can hear that thunder creeping in. I can't imagine we're going to play too much longer. Also, I'm sitting on a metal stool, so, yeah, not good. Here's the 2-2, foul back. An excuse me swing there by Bromley Thornton. And there's a yellow jacket that's hanging out over here as well. Flyboys, myself included, will be glad to get out of Burlington and get back home. 7 home games in 6 days next week. If you're looking to come out to Pioneer Park and watch the Flyboys race toward the West Division crown, you can do so, and I highly recommend you do. Here's the 2-2. Low and away, ball 3 to Bromley Thornton. So a full count, 2 outs in the inning. Caden Combs, who has not stolen a base this season, will run on the pitch. He does not have a big lead over there. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive towards center field. Reed Hare going back, makes the catch, and that's the inning. The wind has picked up considerably here in Burlington. I think the umpires are going to talk things over. Flyboys will have Lane Akers, Cameron Kim, and Jace Patton due up after the 1-2-3 first inning from Andrew Steinhaus, the right-hander out of Radford. Stepping to the plate is Lane Akers. And now you can really hear that thunder. I can feel it in the wooden platform I'm standing on right now. And again, I'm completely outside exposed to the elements, so I'll be the first to tell you if it starts raining. I don't think I'd be able to tell you if I get struck by lightning, though. Here's the first pitch to Akers inside. It has gotten considerably cooler here in Burlington as well. It was 89 at first pitch, but there's a very strong breeze blowing across the field now right to left. Akers takes a low strike, and it's 1-1. So the game time temperature of 89, I think that has, at least by the feel, it's dropped by a good 5 or 6 degrees. Here's the 1-1. Akers takes low and away. Steinhaus spent 2023 with Pulaski, appeared in 9 games, had an ERA of 5.6. Last season in Burlington, he was very good, an ERA of 3.45 in 8 starts. Akers hits a line drive toward the right field corner. This ball is down. Akers takes a big turnaround first, but pulls up there with a leadoff single. That's the first hit for Greenville here in inning number 2. Akers penciled into that cleanup spot after getting the day off yesterday. Cameron Kim had a good day in the Flyboys' 17-5 win over the Sock Puppets. He hit a 3-run homer to open the scoring in the 3rd inning, contributing to the 14 runs the Flyboys have scored in the 3rd inning over their last 2 games. You can hear the thunder. It's still moving toward us. Definitely, I think, less than 10 miles away. First pitch to Kim, a fastball for a strike from Steinhaus. Andrew Steinhaus, he's a redhead. And I can see it from up here, behind home plate and on top of the press box. He has a killer mustache. As a mustachioed man myself, I can appreciate that. Here's the 0-1 to Kim. A late swing and a miss at a fastball. Steinhaus up to about 92 miles per hour with the hard stuff. I see Burlington's GM behind the third base dugout. He is talking intently to some of the Sock Puppets interns. And I don't ever recall playing a game while I hear thunder in the background. Here's the 0-2. Kim takes low and away. Steinhaus tried the slider in the dirt, but it's 1-2 on the Flyboys' third baseman. Jaron Miller coaching third base for Greenville. Tyke Redmond in his usual post at first. Here's the 1-2 to Kim. Swing and a miss. He chased a high fastball. Second strikeout for Steinhaus. Both of them on the cheese. Man at first, one gone in the top of the second. Jace Patton stepping to the plate in a scoreless game. And I think it's actually a little bit of a cause for concern that there's still sun off to our left. I'll tell you why in a second. Here's the first pitch to Patton. Fastball that misses high. Because, of course, when it's sunny and it's hot and there are storms in the area, the sun only serves to provide additional heat and energy for those storms. 1-0 on Patton. A throw over to first. Close play with the left-handed first baseman. Or not even. Combs is right-handed, but he made a really quick tag right there. Akers is safe, though. Combs fooled me. He caught the ball and tagged Akers in one motion. Here's the 1-0. Patton takes a low strike. And now the sun has come out, which is actually bad news, because that storm is moving toward us. So I think it's only a matter of time before something happens here. It's just a question of whether or not I'll be able to protect the equipment and, of course, myself. I'm fast, but I don't know if I'm going to be that fast. Here's the 1-1 to Jace Patton. A fly ball foul over the first base dugout. But again, it's up to the umpire's discretion of when to stop the game. You can still hear the thunder. No, Imagine Dragons did not pay me for any sort of promotion. 1-2 on Patton. Runner at first is Akers. Here's the pitch. Patton takes outside. He checked his swing. Denias Johnson, the base umpire, said he held up. But with Johnson playing between first and second, I don't think that Johnson can really tell. It's always funny when catchers appeal on those with only 2 umpires and a crew, because there's nothing that they can see that would determine the swing. Here's the 2-2. Patton hits a tapper up the middle, chance for a double play. Youcher steps on second, throws on to first, and that's the second inning. 6-3 as Patton bounces into the twin killing. And after an inning and a half, Flyboys and Sock Puppets are tied at 0 here in this series finale. 7-inning Sunday game on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Burlington. Flyboys and Sock Puppets scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. Preston Youcher, the shortstop, will be followed by Wade Shelley, the right fielder, and Brian Carruthers, the catcher. 5, 6, 7 in the order for Burlington. A swing and a miss has Youcher behind 0-1. Matthew Egan back to the mound with the pitch. A swing and a tapper off home plate, foul. Ends up under us, slightly toward the third base side. I was playing Kevin Gregory earlier, weatherman, and that thunder is now moving closer. We've got sun overhead, but again, I think that's actually a bad thing given the situation. 0-2 on Youcher. Egan comes back. Youcher takes outside. Dylan Jackson, the catcher, tried to frame it, but not quite. We were talking about at the top about how Burlington had one of the league's best pitching staffs for most of the season. And now the Sock Puppets are pretty much on par with the Flyboys in terms of their numbers on the mound. Here's the 1-2. Youcher takes well outside. Burlington's ERA as a team is fourth in the league at 5.3. That's up a full run from what it was yesterday, which when you give up 17 in a game, yeah, that'll happen. Flyboys, 5.32, so basically the same. 2-2, a high fly ball to straightaway right field. There's a short porch out there, but it's not deep enough. Micah Jordan makes the catch on the warning track, and Youcher is gone. Couple hard hit outs in the last couple batters who have faced Matthew Egan, but their outs just the same. Leadoff man gone. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second. And Burlington's right fielder, Wade Shelley, comes to the plate for the first time. Shelley stepping in the right-handed batter's box. Just 2 lefties in the lineup for Burlington facing the right-hander Matthew Egan today. Shelley chases a slider, and it's 0-1. Shelley currently in the transfer portal. No commitment yet for him. Egan's ready. Here's the 0-1. Shelley takes low and outside. That thunder's getting louder. I don't know what the umpires are waiting on. I mean, I haven't seen a lightning strike yet, but where there's thunder, there's lightning. And if I was inside, I guess I'd be a little bit more receptive, but I'm not. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a high pop fly, foul on the first base side. Lane Akers gives it a look, but he runs out of room. That ball just escapes onto the other side of the fence. The bullpens are in play here in Burlington. The mounds are just beyond the infield. So the Flyboys relievers are all hanging out over there, as is Burlington on the third base side. 300 feet to the short porch in right. Wall's about 20 feet high, but it tapers off as you get to the scoreboard in straightaway right field. 400 to dead center and 330 to the left field foul pole. 1-2 on Shelley as Egan winds and deals. A fastball in the other batter's box, and it's 2-2. Flyboys looking to finish this road trip 5-1, which would be a phenomenally successful road swing. 2-2 in the dirt from Egan. Shelley has run the count full. Figure if you can go about 500 on the road and win 2 of 3 at home, then you're very successful as a team. The Flyboys have the exact same record at home as they do on the road entering this game. 9-6, both at Pioneer Park and otherwise. 3-2 on Shelley. Egan looking to avoid the game's first walk. Here's the payoff pitch. Shelley hits a line drive off Egan's leg toward third base, and there's no play. That's an infield hit that deflected right off Egan's backside. Immediately, the athletic trainer, Chris Lenker, comes out of the first base dugout, as does Jared Morton, the pitching coach. That ball, just by eyeballing it, was off the bat at about 95 miles per hour. Egan is standing as Lenker goes out to check on him. And as a right-handed pitcher, that right leg is your drive leg. You push off of it, that's where you get your power from. That ball off the bat at 96. And I've never taken a line drive off the leg, but I can't imagine it feels very good. Egan will get some warm-up pitches here to see whether or not he is fit to continue. That ball went off his leg and toward the third base bag, but by the time Egan went over to pick it up, he didn't have a play. Looks like Egan is okay. Chris Lenker, the athletic trainer, going back to the Flyboys' first base dugout. Man at first, one away. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second, and the batter is Brian Carruthers, the catcher. Another right-handed batter stepping in. I'm surprised Burlington hasn't used more lefties against the righty Egan. Sock Puppets have lost 3 in a row entering this game. Time called by the home plate umpire, James Chestnut, as Carruthers steps in. Now we're ready. These are two teams that really like to steal bases. Burlington 4th in the league with 64. Here's the pitch. Carruthers hits a tapper to the left side. Chance for 2. Miller to second. Patton to first. Another Flyboys double play. 6-4-3 to erase the infield hit. And we remain scoreless after 2. Looks like it's a much more low-scoring affair than yesterday was. Then again, it was scoreless after 2 yesterday, and then the Flyboys exploded for 8 in the third inning. We'll see if they can do something similar coming up next on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Saukville. Greenville and the Burlington Sock Puppets are scoreless as we go to the top of inning number 3. Flyboys have loved the third inning over the last 2 nights. They scored 8 right here in Burlington in the third inning yesterday en route to a 12-run victory. See what they have in store here. Facing the right-hander Andrew Steinhaus, who has retired the first 6 men in order. Got some help from a double play to erase a base hit last inning. Dylan Jackson, TJ Adams, and Micah Jordan stepping to the plate in this frame. Jackson hits a high fly ball in foul territory on the first base side. Caden Combs gives it a look, but that ball's into the bleachers. Jackson did not play for the Flyboys last night, but he's back behind the plate. He's been good overall, an on-base percentage this season of .362. Flyboys as a team dead even with Burlington and .811 OPS. Here's the 0-1. Jackson gets jammed, hits a slow roller to the right side. Combs has to wait on it, but he steps on the bag before Jackson gets there. And the leadoff man is gone. Scored 3 unassisted as Combs retires Jackson. Here's TJ Adams stepping to the plate for Greenville. Flyboys didn't hit the ball particularly brilliantly yesterday. They only had 7 hits, which is the exact same amount that Burlington had. Adams takes outside. Adams kind of embodies how the Flyboys won yesterday's game. He walked 3 times and scored 2 runs. Here's the 1-0. Steinhaus grabs the low outside corner. Adams did not have a hit, but he reached 4 times. The 3 walks and then a hit by pitch as well. The wind and the 1-1. Adams hits a slow roller to the right side. He got jammed big time. Fernandez up with it and on to first in time. Steinhaus getting some weak contact here from the bottom third of the Flyboys order. Micah Jordan stepping in. And I know it's very early, but this is only a 7-inning game. So really we're only a couple half innings shy of the halfway point. This is where if you're the Flyboys, maybe you think about playing some small ball. Micah Jordan is definitely somebody who you could have bunt for a hit. The third baseman, Bromley Thornton, even with the base. Jordan, not squaring around, takes outside. With 2 outs in the inning, I don't know how likely he is to do it here. But Burlington is certainly wary of it. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Jordan fouls it back. A little bit late with that swing as he tried to get the elevated fastball. That wind is still blowing across the field right to left. That dark cloud is moving closer. There's a thunderstorm directly behind us. I can see the dark cloud dumping down some rain. Jordan takes outside, and it's 1-2. Now here, it is sunny. But that can change very quickly, as we've seen throughout this Flyboys season. In this part of the country, there is a lot of potential for pop-up thunderstorms. Jordan takes high and inside. It's 3-1. Steinhaus, I'm sure, is not a fan of 2-out walks, but especially to Micah Jordan, since he's in the number 9 spot, you've got a very dangerous hitter waiting on deck in Reed Hare. You don't want to give him a chance with a man on. Here's the 3-1. Jordan pops it foul behind home plate, and the count is full. If you look at the radar, again, I'm playing weatherman because it could impact this game. That cell looks like it's got the potential to scrape us. Full count on Jordan. Base is empty, 2 gone. Here's the payoff from Steinhaus. Jordan strikes out swinging, and that's the inning. Steinhaus faces the minimum through 3, and the Flyboys, looks like runs will be much harder for them to come by in this game than they were yesterday. On to the home half of the third. Scoreless between Greenville and Burlington on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Burlington. The Flyboys and the Sock Puppets tied at 0 as we begin the bottom of inning number 3. In this 7-inning Sunday affair, right-hander Matthew Egan has faced 1 above the minimum through the first 2 innings. We'll see what he has in store here in inning number 3 as he faces Zach Jackson, Chance Jennings, and then back to the top of the order for DJ Merriweather, with Ariel Antigua being scratched very late prior to first pitch. Left-handed batter stepping in, and Jackson takes low and in from Matthew Egan. He took a comebacker off the leg last inning, off his drive leg, which can sometimes be a problem for pitchers, but he's okay to stay in the game for now. 1-0, high and tight. Jackson twisting out of the way. He was 0 for 4 last night, and I think it's a performance he's going to want to forget because he grounded into 2 double plays. You know he's looking to connect with 1. Hitters count. Here's the 2-0. Swinging a line drive over the leaping shortstop Peyton Miller into left field. Right on cue, Jackson finds a barrel. That is the 3rd hit in as many innings for the Sock Puppets. Jennings stepping to the plate, also 0 for last night. Struck out twice. Burlington looking to claw closer to first place. The Sock Puppets fell out of favor at the top of the Appy League East after being swept by Bristol and then falling back an additional game behind Bluefield last night. Losers of 3 in a row, and as a team that's been at the top of the East for most of the season. That's very uncharacteristic for them. Jennings stepping in. Here's the pitch from Egan. Swinging a tapper to the left side. Kim, a leaping grab to second for one. Patton on to first, not in time. Would have been a very tough turn. It was a weak chopper. Kim leapt and fielded it just behind the third base bag. Did well to get the lead runner. So Jennings trades places with Jackson on the fielder's choice. Score at 5-4. Not quite the second double play in as many innings for the Flyboys defense. Man at first, one away for DJ Merriweather. Merriweather replaced Ariel Antigua in the designated hitter spot just prior to first pitch. No word on why Antigua was scratched. Right on left, the runner goes, pitch is outside. Jackson throw is offline. Miller swipes the tag across, but it's late. Jennings steals his 9th base on 10 tries this season. Burlington and Greenville, 2 of the 4 best base-stealing teams in the league. So you figured somebody was going to get active on the base paths sooner or later. Flyboys and Sock Puppets scoreless here in the bottom of the third. First runner in scoring position for Burlington this afternoon. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Egan broke out the changeup there. Right-hander up in the Flyboys bullpen is Christian Bonilla. This is a 7-inning game, so every scoring opportunity is magnified in importance. Left-handed batter Merriweather looking to advance the runner to third. He's dancing off second. Here's the 1-1. Merriweather pops it foul just over my head. That was as close to a catchable foul ball as we've had up here in the last couple days. I should have brought one of those giant nets on a stick, seeing if maybe I can snag one without interfering with play, of course. Would say I'll bring it next time, but there will not be a next time here in Burlington this season. 1-2 on Merriweather. Here's the pitch. He takes just outside. Fastball missing, a little bit low as well. But for the Flyboys, they got another great starting pitching performance last night from Kyle Body. Struck out 6 of the final 7 batters that he faced in 4 scoreless innings. Here's the 2-2. Merriweather hits a tapper to the right side. Patton waits on it. Runner moves to third, but Patton retires Merriweather for the second out of the inning. Merriweather does the job, though. Gets the runner to third base, and Orlando Fernandez has a chance at the game's first RBI. Fernandez 0 for 5 in the series, but he's got an OPS of 935 and a batting average over 300, so you know he's due. That's really the case for this whole Burlington offense with just 1 earned run yesterday. You feel like eventually the bats are going to get really hot. You just hope it doesn't happen against the Flyboys. Swinging a tapper foul past third. Sometimes it's a case of when you face a certain team, how good your chances are of winning. Greenville, I think, catching Burlington at one of its worst times this season, but that can change very quickly. Egan is set. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a pass ball. That fan manifested that. The runner's going to score standing up. I have never seen that in my life. A fan chirped Dylan Jackson. Looked like he got crossed up on an outside fastball. The pitch ended up in front of the Flyboys' first base dugout, and that's how Burlington opens the scoring. I have never seen that in my entire life. And that's part of the game on one hand, but also if you're chirping college kids at an Appy League game, I think you need to reevaluate. Burlington leads 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Base is empty for Fernandez. Here's the pitch. A check swing. Called strike anyway, and it's 1-2. I get it. On one hand, you want your team to succeed, but chirping kids half your age, trying to get better, that's not the way to do it. 1-2 on Fernandez. Egan looking to shake off the defensive blunder. Here's the pitch. 1-2 fouled back. They gave Egan a wild pitch on that. Either way, the run scores. You know Greenville will be looking to pick him up quickly because if the Flyboys do not score in the next half inning, then this game will become official. And we've heard that thunder. I think it's dodged us to the south, but this game becomes official. So if any rain hits and the Flyboys are trailing, then tough luck. 1-2, Fernandez takes in the dirt. Flyboys have been held to just one hit so far. They haven't had a ton of base runners to speak of either. Just the base hit from Lane Akers, but outside of that, Andrew Steinhaus has been fantastic in his first trip through the order. Egan the wide and the 2-2. Fernandez chases a pitch in the dirt. Jackson tags him out, and that's the inning. Sock Puppets strike first on a wild pitch, and after 3, Greenville trails Burlington 1-0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Burlington leading Greenville 1-0 as we begin the top of the 4th inning here in Sockville. Flyboys and the Sock Puppets concluding this 2-game weekend set. Back to the top of the order we go for Greenville. It'll be Reed Hare, followed by Peyton Miller and Ezra McNaughton. That's a good 1-2-3 if you're looking to tie a 1-0 game or take the lead. Right-hander Andrew Steinhaus faced the minimum his first time through the order. Hare takes a fastball outside. And this is a Flyboys team that it feels like most pitchers, they'll get them maybe once through the order, but twice or a third time, very unlikely. Hare takes outside. And this is what Greenville did yesterday. It was in the 3rd inning, just being very patient and picking its spots. It helps when your opponent walks you 18 times, yes, but I don't think that's going to happen again. Hare fouls back the 2-0. And the message from a coaching staff when there's a short porch in right field like there is in Burlington is don't try to pull the ball out. Don't try to hit home runs that way because more often than not, you're just going to pop up or roll over. 2-1 to Hare, foul back. He doesn't get cheated on these swings, but just under the last couple. Both of them fastballs over the plate. Steinhaus has worked it back to 2-2. Burlington's infield shading the left-handed hitter to pull. Here's the 2-2. Hare takes up and away. And I'm kind of surprised to see Steinhaus working the outer part of the plate because a lot of the time you'll see a pitcher pitching to a batter based on the defensive alignment. So if they've got Hare shaded to his pull side, you'd think you'd want him to attack the inside part of the plate. 3-2. Hare pulls it foul to the right side. That was the first time in the at-bat Steinhaus tried to rush that fastball past Hare on the inside part of home plate. And Hare got around on it. Just pulled the trigger a little too quickly. Steinhaus comes back. Here's another 3-2. Hare checks his swing. He went around. That's strike 3. I think it was in the zone anyway. As Steinhaus strikes out Hare for the 2nd time today. That is Steinhaus' 4th strikeout. He's got 1 in every inning, keeping the pitch count down effectively as well. He's only at 42 right now, which if we flash back to yesterday, Lance Hartley, the starting pitcher for Burlington, needed 63 to get through 2 innings. Steinhaus is at now 42 through 3 1/3. Peyton Miller digs in and takes outside. Miller, the middle infielder out of Gonzaga. It's a pretty long trip from Spokane to Burlington, North Carolina. 1-0. Miller hits a line drive right at the shortstop, Preston Youcher. Youcher goes to his belly to secure the catch, and Miller is robbed of a base hit. That's the 2nd lineout the Flyboys have had up the middle in the first 4 innings. The first one came from the man stepping to the plate now, Ezra McNaughton. McNaughton lined out to second base to end the 1st inning. Hit the ball 101 miles an hour right at Orlando Fernandez. Which, I mean, if you're him, you can't really hang your head too much about it. He did everything right except beat the defensive alignment. Here's the pitch. McNaughton takes a strike. If there's anybody who can hit it out over that short porch down the line and right, it's going to be Ezra McNaughton. He's got 10 homers, the only Appy Leaguer with double-digit home runs. Here's the 0-1. McNaughton takes low and in. But for the Flyboys, you look at their offensive output, they've been held to 1 run a couple of times this season. They've been shut out once as well. Here's the 1-1. McNaughton hits a line drive towards straightaway left, and he is now 0 for 2 with 2 lineouts. Unlucky for Ezra McNaughton, but Andrew Steinhaus will take it. It's his third 1-2-3 inning through the first 4 frames. We are halfway home in this 7-inning game. Burlington leads Greenville 1-0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Back here in a windy Burlington, the Flyboys trail the Sock Puppets 1-0 as we begin the bottom of inning number 4. Greenville goes to its bullpen. Christian Bonilla, the right-hander who joined the Flyboys by way of Frostburg State in Maryland, gets the ball, and he will face the heart of this Sock Puppets order, which is very dangerous, though it hasn't really shown it through the first game and a half of this 2-game series. It'll be Caden Combs, Bromley Thornton, and Preston Youcher, 3, 4, 5 in the Sock Puppets order due up here. All right-handed batters facing the right-handed reliever Bonilla. Here's the pitch. Combs takes inside. Bonilla on for the 9th time this season. It's been tough for him so far. 11 earned and 10 2/3. A lot of base runners. 24 hits and walks combined and 13 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 to Combs. A fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Or the count is actually 1-1. I think maybe the scoreboard operator missed it. I thought the first pitch was inside. But they've got it at 0-2. And no, it is 1-1. So now here's the 1-1 pitch. Combs swings and misses. That is strike 2. And Combs asks for time. The wind has now started blowing slightly out towards straightaway center. It's a very light breeze, but I'd say gusts up to about 15 miles per hour, maybe 20. Bonilla always goes from the stretch. Here's the 1-2. Combs takes a high and outside fastball. Dylan Jackson says he liked it. He liked that location from Bonilla. Burlington in this game, a run on 3 hits. The Flyboys, no runs on just 1 knock. Neither team has committed an error to this point. Here's the 2-2. Combs takes outside. We are now past the halfway point, so this game is official. Bottom of the 4th inning, and this is a 7-inning Sunday game, as is customary in the Appy League. And the Flyboys were on the other side of a late rally last Sunday against Bluefield. Here's the 3-2 to Combs in the dirt, ball 4. First walk issued by Flyboys pitching here this afternoon. Bromley Thornton, the 2-way player out of UNC Wilmington, stepping to the plate now. And it was last Sunday that the Flyboys hosted the Ridge Runners. Matthew Egan delivered a strong 5-inning start. Greenville led 2-1 entering the top of the 7th, and then surrendered the lead on a 3-run double from Bluefield's cleanup man, Ryan Nedved. Bluefield went on to close it out in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Thornton, misses high. Bonilla with some early trouble finding the strike zone. We mentioned that command can be a problem for him at times. But maybe the Flyboys are saving it. They learned from what Bluefield did, and they're saying, okay, we can do that in the 7th as well. Although I'd rather they don't wait that long. Here's the 1-0. Outside. Bonilla behind another hitter, now 2-0. Needing to reel it in quickly, especially since this is just a 1-0 game. You don't want to give Burlington, one of the league's best offensive teams, any extra chances. 2-0. Thornton hits a foul ball over the first base dugout. Here in Burlington, they've got banners of players who spent time playing rookie ball at this park when the Appy League was affiliated directly with major league teams. Some of those players, as Bonilla delivers the 2-1, foul tipped at home plate. That got Dylan Jackson's mask. So the home plate umpire, James Chestnut, will walk a new baseball out there. Jackson taking a second to reset himself. One of those players in particular surprised me. Bartolo Colon spent time here in Saukville. what is now known as Saukville. Colon, his nickname, Cal Raleigh is Big Dumper, Bartolo Colon is Big Sexy. And yes, that was actually his nickname. A lot of people know Bartolo as the guy who hit his only homer off James Shields when the Mets visited the Padres. That was 9 years ago, if you can believe that. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line smash into left field for a base hit. Bromley Thornton is 1 for 2. And Burlington is threatening here. Sock Puppets have 2 on with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th, as they look to extend their 1-0 lead. That brings Dylan Jackson out for a quick word with Christian Bonilla. Drew Maddox is now getting loose in the Flyboys bullpen. He is moving around. He's not throwing yet, but this is a very important series finale. If you can finish the road trip 4-1 and go back home, if you're the Flyboys, 19-12, you're guaranteed to hold on to first place if you win tonight. Flyboys a full game ahead of Kingsport. But if you can take this series against Burlington, I think that would make a real statement as far as the championship push goes. Here's Preston Youcher, right-handed batter. He squares to bunt, but misses, and it's strike 1. Youcher ended up a couple steps up the first base line there, missing that bunt attempt. This would be a sacrifice situation. Youcher doesn't have great speed, has not stolen a base successfully this season. Corner infielders are anticipating the sacrifice bunt. Youcher swings away and hits a fly ball toward right center field. Jordan and Hare converging. Reed Hare takes charge, makes the catch, and the runners stay put as Hare unleashes a one-hop strike to third base to keep Combs from tagging. That's a big first out for the Flyboys. They've been great at turning double plays in this series. They've got 3 already, including 1 earlier tonight. Wade Shelley stepping in. He has 1 of Burlington's 4 hits. Flyboys trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of inning number 4. But if you're Christian Bonilla right now, you want to keep everything down in the zone and ideally on the outer half of the plate. See if you can get Shelley to roll over. Thornton at first, Combs at second. The right-hander Bonilla working the first base side of the rubber. He delivers. Up and in, under the hands of the right-handed hitter, Shelley. Shelley in right field for Burlington this afternoon, soon to be evening. Did not play in the series opener last night. Sock Puppets finishing out a homestand here this week. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a tapper foul behind home plate. 1-1. Burlington will do what the Flyboys did this week and go on the road for 6 games next week, concluding, of course, with a 2-game set in Greenville. These teams meeting 4 times in 8 days for their season series. 1-1 on Shelley. Here's the pitch from Bonilla. A fastball on the low outside corner. That's a perfect pitch, and it's 1-2. Shelley grimacing, looking toward the third base coach's box there. Torrey Pettiford is the third base coach, and you could tell that Shelley didn't like that call. But if you look at the strike zone box, I think he might have a case. That was about a baseball off the plate. See if Bonilla tries to double up. Here's the 1-2. Shelley fouls it back. Bonilla tried the outer part of the plate again there, nodding his head to the catcher, Dylan Jackson, saying, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But that's the mark of a smart hitter in Shelley, recognizing that Bonilla tried to blow the fastball by him again and getting the hands out there to spoil it. This is a big moment in this game. Flyboys trailing 1-0. Burlington with first and second and 1 out. Here's the 1-2. Shelley hits another foul ball. This one out of play to the first base side. But really, it's an inflection point for both sides because the Flyboys can roll up a double play and end the inning. And if Shelley gets a base hit, Combs doesn't have great speed, but if it's a bloop single or maybe a shot down the line, you're talking about at least doubling the lead. Here's another 1-2. Shelley hits a roller to the left side. That ball is through for a base hit. Combs is going to try to score. Here comes the throw from TJ Adams. It is late, and Burlington doubles the lead. It's now 2-0. Wade Shelley's second hit of the day is an RBI single. Combs dives across home plate without a play. Third base runner and 4 batters allowed by Christian Bonilla. For Shelley, it's his 10th RBI of the season. Here's Brian Carruthers, the catcher. He grounded into that double play to end the second inning. Bonilla wouldn't mind another one of those right here, but this is danger zone now for the Flyboys. Carruthers takes a strike. You don't know how many more scoring opportunities you're going to get. With Burlington starter Andrew Steinhaus dealing as well as he has so far. Faced the minimum through 4. Inside move to second. Bonilla bluffs the throw. The fans think it was a balk, but they're wrong. Shelley at first, Thornton at second. Burlington now out hitting the Flyboys 5-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside. Jackson wants the appeal to second, but again, the field umpire can't really tell when he's standing directly behind the mound. Bonilla has thrown now 21 pitches in this inning and recorded just 1 out. This is what the Flyboys were hoping to avoid, just giving Burlington extra chances. And the Sock Puppets are so good at the plate that you know they're going to cash in. 1-1. Off-speed pitch inside. So Bonilla falls behind another hitter. Right-hander set, needing something here. 2-1 is a strike on the low inside corner. Fastball got the call there. And if you're Bonilla, you wouldn't mind finding that spot one more time. The right-handed hitter Carruthers did not like it. Bonilla's ready. Couple looks at second. And he comes home. Swing and a miss below the zone. Bonilla thought it was out number 3. It's only number 2. Carruthers chased a fastball. Bonilla started walking off toward the Flyboys' first base dugout, and Dylan Jackson said, hold on a minute, that's only 2. Zach Jackson stepping in from the left side. Flyboys are already down to their final 9 outs. And that's the thing about these 7-inning games, is that it comes up on you quickly. Greenville hasn't really had any scoring chances. Just 1 base runner so far, and that was erased by a double play. First pitch. Jackson takes a strike. Fastball at the knees on the inside corner. But it seems like these 7-inning games really favor the home team. I don't know why it feels that way. It just seems like if you can get in control early, you take the momentum away, and then there's not really any time to mount a rally. Here's the 0-1. Jackson takes another strike. That fastball in the exact same spot. And now the batter, Zach Jackson, asks for time. Pair of singles and a walk in this inning. The RBI knock from Wade Shelley, doubling Burlington's lead. It's 2-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Bonilla needing now 25 pitches in this inning. Right-hander looking to end it after number 26. He's set. And here's the pitch. Jackson hits a foul ball over the third base dugout, headed for the parking lot. We were talking about the thunderstorms earlier. It looks like they've missed us for the time being. They've hung out behind the ballpark, but not coming over. Still blue skies here. Temperature in the upper 80s. It felt like 95 a couple hours ago. Seems like it'll be a good hitter's afternoon. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a ground ball through the right side. Another base hit. Thornton thinking about scoring. The throw comes into third base, and it's late. Everybody's safe. An RBI single for Zach Jackson. He grounded into 2 double plays yesterday. He's got 2 hits in as many innings today. Burlington leads 3-0. Two outs, the runners are off on anything, and there, Bromley Thornton was hustling home. Shelley goes first to third. Jackson moves up to second on the throw. But that is bad news for the Flyboys. They have nothing offensively so far in this game, and it's only a 3-run lead, but it feels like a lot more. Second and third, 2 out for Chance Jennings. Jennings reached on a fielder's choice an inning ago. He's the 7th hitter to the plate in this inning for Burlington. Sock Puppets up 3-0, out hitting the Flyboys 6-1. Here's the pitch. Jennings takes in the dirt. Jackson digs it out on a short hop. And can I just say, I am so glad I never have to come back here this season, because that chant is already getting on my nerves. I'm not just saying that because the Flyboys are losing. I'm saying it because it's annoying. I heard that it was annoying, but I didn't think it was actually this annoying. Here's the 1-0. Low and outside. Bonilla misses with the fastball. It was annoying yesterday, too, even when they were still doing it while the Flyboys were leading by 12. I'll be so glad for the Flyboys to be back home. A chance to really take advantage of that home field. 2-0 misses high. 3-0 on the number 9 hitter with DJ Merriweather waiting on deck. 4 of 6 men at the plate in this inning have reached for Burlington. Bonilla needs to find the strike zone quickly. Here's the 3-0 pitch. A fastball for a strike. Bonilla's up to 93 with the fastball, but the problem is when it's not a strike, it doesn't matter how hard you throw it. Drew Maddox now up and throwing in the Flyboys bullpen, so he'll be next. Here's the 3-1. Jennings takes a strike. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. He didn't like the call, but it's 3-2. Greenville will play 2 against Kingsport, the Axemen in second place in the West. I'm going to venture and say if either team sweeps that series, then they will go on to win the West. 3-2. Jennings takes outside. That looked like it was in the exact same spot as the pitch before it, but James Chestnut did not give Lewis the call, and now the bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning, the 5th base runner. Bonilla's up to 34 pitches in this frame. And now a slow walk to the mound from Jared Morton, the Flyboys pitching coach who was acting as the manager with Jack Wilson in Atlanta for the All-Star festivities. He's going out to get Christian Bonilla. It'll be Drew Maddox on out of the bullpen. Bases loaded, top of the order coming up. Burlington already leading 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Christian Bonilla's day is done after 2/3 of an inning. The right-hander leaves with the bases loaded and hands it over to Drew Maddox. Maddox on out of the bullpen for Greenville, looking to keep Burlington ahead just 3-0. Top of the order coming up here, it's DJ Merriweather, who is the 8th man to the plate in this frame. Maddox appearing in his 11th game this season. He's been good, an ERA of 2.8 across 16 innings. 5 of the 10 runs he's allowed have been unearned. So hopefully the Flyboys defense can give him a lift here. And you know this Burlington crowd is ready to erupt if Merriweather can drive one into the outfield. But 2 out in the inning, so doesn't matter where. Retiring anybody ends it. Here's the pitch from Maddox. Left-handed batter Merriweather takes low. Maddox coming out of the bullpen with the bases loaded for the 2nd time in the last 2 weeks. I'm sure he's not very happy about that. Here's the 1-0. Merriweather takes low. Maddox trying to work the bottom of the zone, but just missing about 6 inches below the knees of the left-handed batter. Merriweather was not originally in Burlington's lineup tonight. It was supposed to be Ariel Antigua at the designated hitter spot, but Antigua was a late scratch. Here's the 2-0. Merriweather swings through a fastball. And you can hear the Burlington dugout directly under us. They know that Merriweather didn't get cheated on that swing. And at every station, Jennings at first, Jackson at second, Shelley at third. A couple RBI singles in the inning for the Sock Puppets. Here's the 2-1. Fastball at the knees, and it's 2-2. Maddox now finding the command at the bottom of the zone a little bit better. Good job by him of evening the count back up. But he's got to remain on the attack here on 2-2. You do not want to run the count full. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. And if you're Merriweather here, you're thinking, okay, if I can just extend this, maybe get him to miss for ball 3, and then reach, you give Orlando Fernandez a chance. Fernandez among the team leaders for Burlington with 19 RBIs. In this game, number 33 for Burlington. Maddox is set. Here's another 2-2. Swinging a broken bat flare to shallow right field. This ball's carrying pretty well. Jordan makes the catch on the warning track to end the inning. The barrel of the bat ended up on the edge of the infield dirt just past first base. DJ Merriweather muscled that one to the warning track. I did not think that was going to carry that far. But either way, Maddox gets out of serious trouble. Burlington adds a couple more, though, on RBI singles from Wade Shelley and Zach Jackson. After 4 innings of this 7-inning game, Sock Puppets lead Greenville 3-0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. All Burlington as we begin the top of inning number 5 in this 7-inning Sunday game. Nick Rodecap with you here on the Flyboys Baseball Network as Greenville trails the Sock Puppets 3-0. Right-hander Andrew Steinhaus has faced the minimum through 4. First pitch to Lane Akers, a late swing and miss on a high fastball. Steinhaus allowed a leadoff single in the second to Akers and then erased him with a double play to retire the side in the second. That's the only blemish on the scorecard. Akers takes a strike and it's 0-2. Steinhaus entering this start had allowed 31 walks and hits combined in 16 innings. So that's about 2 base runners in an inning. But he has been nearly spotless today. 0-2 is a soft liner down the right field side. That is fair, headed toward the corner. Akers has both of the Flyboys hits. This one is a leadoff double to start the top of the 5th. Great job by Akers of going with that 2-strike pitch and hitting it down the line to his opposite field side. That's exactly what the Flyboys need to start this 5th inning. Here's Cameron Kim stepping in. He gave the Flyboys a jolt offensively yesterday with his 3-run homer. Akers, his 4th double of the season, batting average now inching closer to 300. Kim was a strikeout victim so far. Steinhaus has struck out 1 batter in every inning. Akers a big lead at second. He's dancing around out there. First pitch to Kim, fastball that misses high. And for Greenville, I think it's important to get Steinhaus in the stretch, which is what Akers has done with his leadoff double. Make him uncomfortable. Get him out of rhythm. You'll see pitchers maybe let things spiral on themselves sometimes when a man reaches. 1-0 to Kim, upstairs. When a pitcher is motoring along and everything seems fine and dandy and then you get tagged with an extra base hit, sometimes you start to nibble around the edges of the plate. That's what Steinhaus has done with the first 2 pitches to Kim. Hitters count for him. Here's the pitch. Kim fouls it back. He wanted his 2nd homer in the last 2 games. See him take a big hack at that elevated fastball. Steinhaus up to 92 miles per hour with the hard stuff. He's also got a cut fastball as well. Even that little bit of movement towards the right-hander's glove side is enough to keep hitters honest. Keep them off balance. 2-1. Steinhaus comes back. Kim takes inside, and it's 3-1. And this is a really good sign for the Flyboys offensively in this 5th inning. They've utilized crooked numbers in the last couple of games to build big leads. An 8-run inning last night, a 6-run inning 2 nights ago in Danville. Here's the 3-1. Kim hits a high pop fly foul over the first base dugout. Steinhaus has worked it back to 3-2. Jace Patton waiting on deck, looking for things to go a little bit better after he hit into that double play in the 2nd. Runner at second base is Lane Akers, as Steinhaus is set. Here's the 3-2. Kim foul tips it, but it's held onto by Brian Carruthers, and he's gone swinging. 1 strikeout in every inning for Steinhaus. He's got 5. All of them on the fastball. He cut that one a little bit. 1 away, man at second now for Patton. Flyboys are going to need at least 1 run here. Steinhaus has been really efficient. He's only at 56 pitches through 4 1/3. That's efficiency that you sometimes don't even witness at the major league level. He's gotten a lot of weak contact in this game. First pitch to Patton, outside. There's also some hard contact in there. The Flyboys have lined out 3 times. Ezra McNaughton has lined out twice, 1 at 101 miles per hour, 1 at 99 miles per hour, and he's got nothing to show for it. 1-0 to Patton, a strike at the knees. And sometimes that's how it goes in baseball. Sometimes things just do not fall your way. The bounces not going the way that you want them to, I think, can partly be blamed, but also Steinhaus has let his defense cook behind him. 1-1. Patton takes outside. Dylan Jackson is on deck for Greenville. These are guys with extra base hit potential. As you figure 2 hits, both of them from Lane Akers, you're going to need somebody else. 2-1. Patton hits a chopper to the left side. It's off the glove of Thornton into left field. Flyboys catch a break right there. Bromley Thornton couldn't knock that one down. It deflected into shallow left. And here's your scoring chance for Greenville. Men on the corners now with 1 away. And they credit Patton with a single there. So he's the first man not named Lane Akers to get a hit for Greenville in this game. Dylan Jackson stepping to the plate, representing the tying run. His only homer this season was an opposite field home run to the short porch in Elizabethton. That was a line drive homer. So you're thinking, if you're Jackson, I try to do the same thing. Instead, he has to duck out of the way of a head-high fastball from Steinhaus. 1-0. Jackson perhaps a little bit more motivated by the fan that's been chirping him. Chirped him about a passed ball and then saying that it's an easy double play. Love for Jackson to let his play do the talking here. The 1-0. Jackson gets hit in the middle of the back, and that loads the bases. Talked about Steinhaus maybe having trouble now that he has to go out of the stretch. 3 base runners in this inning. The Flyboys had 1 base runner in the entire game prior to this 5th inning. TJ Adams stepping up with the bases loaded now. Flyboys trailing 3-0 in the top of the 5th. 1 away for the man in the number 8 spot. And before Adams digs in, Burlington's pitching coach Dave Schmidt makes the slow walk out to the mound to calm down his starter, Andrew Steinhaus. Lane Akers led off this inning with a 2-strike opposite field double. And then 1 out base runners. A single from Jace Patton that hit the glove of Bromley Thornton at third base. And then a hit by pitch for Dylan Jackson, as the Flyboys catcher wore a 90-mile-per-hour fastball right between the numbers. Elsewhere around the Appy League, Pulaski beat Elizabethton in a tiebreaker earlier. Bristol and Danville suspended in the bottom of the 3rd, with the State Liners leading 1-0. Johnson City 7-0 leading Tri-State in the middle of the 6th. And at Kingsport, the Axemen shutting out the first-place Ridge Runners 6-0 in the 6th inning. After the mound meeting, Adams getting ready to step in. He's got 5 RBIs this season. You figure he would love to add to that total here. Steinhaus from the windup with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Adams swings and hits a ground ball to short. This should be a routine double play. 6, 4, 3, and that's the inning. Best scoring chance for the Flyboys is gone as quickly as it appears. Adams bounces into it, and that is not good. After 4.5, Greenville has the bases loaded with 1 away, walks away with nothing. It's 3-0 Burlington on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys missed out on a bases loaded opportunity in the 5th inning as Andrew Steinhaus, the starting pitcher for Burlington, rolled up a 6-4-3 double play to keep Greenville off the board. 3-0 as we begin the bottom of inning number 5. Drew Maddox on the mound after getting Burlington to leave him loaded in the 4th. You're thinking in terms of big scoring opportunities, Flyboys had their best of this game and got nothing. 2-3-4 due up as Orlando Fernandez takes low and outside. It's the heart of the order for Burlington once again. Fernandez was the only man who did not hit in the 4th. Sock Puppets sent 8 to the plate and scored twice. Fernandez will be followed by Caden Combs. There's a liner up the middle for a leadoff single. It'll be Combs, Bromley Thornton, and Preston Youcher to follow. Seven of nine, I should say, have reached safely for Burlington in this game. And this is what you were thinking was going to happen, especially after yesterday. The worst loss of the season for Burlington. And you figure that the Sock Puppets were going to find their footing offensively. They have done that. 3 runs on 7 hits while holding the Flyboys scoreless and to just 3 hits. 2 of the league's best offensive teams facing off here in Saukville. Combs digging in. First pitch fastball outside for Maddox. But if you're Burlington here, you can score a couple more times. If you really want to bury Greenville, that's how you do it. Because you take the bases loaded opportunity and keep everybody from scoring on one end, and then you add a couple runs. That can take the wind out of the sails for a team. 1-0. Combs takes low and away. Two 2-0 count to Combs. He's got a homer and 19 RBIs this season. Reached both times so far tonight. Fernandez with good speed at first. Here's the pitch. Combs hits a fly ball foul past first base. That ball nearly hitting a car in the parking lot. 2-1 now. Flyboys down to their final 6 outs, and there's nobody up in the Burlington bullpen. This is potentially a scenario where Steinhaus, the Burlington starter, could at least go 6 of 7, maybe even try for a complete game. Pickoff move to first. Fernandez is in there standing. You don't even see opportunities for pitchers to throw complete games very much in the Appy League. The league-wide walk numbers are very high. Average about 6 walks per 9 innings among the 10 teams. Runner goes, 2-1, fouled away. Fernandez started and stopped right there. He took a couple steps towards second and then froze in his tracks. He'll be trying to catch the Flyboys off guard defensively. I know as a first baseman that always fooled me. I would say runner, runner, only to find out that he's still standing in my hip pocket after I had shuffled off the bag. 2-2 on Combs. Maddox is ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Combs is gone on the fastball. Couldn't catch up to the cheese there. Combs retired for the first time in 3 trips. Now here's Bromley Thornton. Helped get the Burlington rally off the ground in the 4th. He singled to put 2 on with nobody out. Came around to score on the RBI single from Zach Jackson later on. Flyboys trailing 3-0 here in the bottom of inning number 5. This is a 7-inning Sunday game. First pitch, breaking ball, then this is low and away from Maddox. The right-hander out of Tennessee Tech. Thornton has hit it hard both times. A single and a line out. Here's the 1-0. He takes an outside strike. The Flyboys just looking to keep Burlington from adding anything else. Greenville's offense can erupt at any time. They'll have the top of the order coming up, well, the Flyboys in the 6th. But it may be for the last time. Here's the 1-1. Runner goes, it gets away from Jackson. Now Fernandez is thinking about third. It's a deep backstop. Here's the throw, it's offline. Fernandez steals second and moves up to third on the wild pitch. And these are the kinds of mistakes that the Flyboys didn't make yesterday. These are the kinds of mistakes that Burlington made. Now, there's a lot of stuff that you can look to emulate with the way Burlington plays. Overall, good pitching, good defense, good base running, but giving up free bases is not one of them. Infield is forced to come in now with one away and a man at third. Here's the 2-1. Thornton takes low and outside. Burlington is just like Danville, backstop over 30 feet behind home plate. So anything that gets past the catcher will lead to the advance by at least one base for every runner. Maddox is set. Here's the 3-1. At the knees for strike 2. Maddox working everything low and away to the right-handed batter, Thornton. Wonder if maybe Fernandez will run on contact here. Force the issue with the Flyboys defense. 3-2. Swinging a soft liner into right field for a base hit. Free bases come back to cost the Flyboys. Fernandez goes from first to third with a stolen base and a wild pitch, and then scores on Thornton's second hit of the game. RBI number 14 for Bromley Thornton. His second hit in as many innings. It's 4-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. That's where Burlington does exactly what good teams do after getting out of trouble. You go and you add some more runs to make it even tougher for the opponent to mount a comeback. Youcher stepping in, right-handed batter, 0 for 2. First pitch, a fastball for a strike. He, too, has a line out on the ledger. He's hit it in the air to the outfield both times. But you knew that Burlington was not going to stay quiet for 2 games. The Sock Puppets offense is too good. 1 through 9, they are very complete as a team. 0-1 in the dirt. Jackson blocks it. But the Flyboys will see the Sock Puppets 2 more times in the next week. Saturday and Sunday at Pioneer Park as Burlington makes the return trip. These teams in opposite divisions, so they don't play each other that much. Just 4 times out of 48 games on the schedule. And if you look at the Appy League standings, you'll see that Kingsport, the Axemen, I should say, are only a half game back of the Flyboys. That is not true entering this game. 1-1 fastball for a strike. The Flyboys entering tonight are actually a full game ahead, although that will likely change given the result of this game. There's a loss that Kingsport had in extra innings that was not counted in the standings. And the league has not fixed it. 1-2. He went around on the high fastball, says the home plate umpire, James Chestnut. Youcher has gone on strikes. So Youcher 0 for 3. Wade Shelley's having a better day. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI. Man at first, 2 out in the bottom of the 5th. Burlington leading Greenville 4-0. Flyboys will need a late rally, and they'll need it quickly. This is only a 7-inning game. But again, the top of the order will come back up and face the starter for the 3rd time. First pitch to Shelley. Fastball for a strike. And with this game as close as it is, you don't know how long the Burlington starter, Andrew Steinhaus, will stay in this game. I can't imagine he's going to have a very long leash, especially since the Flyboys loaded the bases against him last inning. 0-1 misses low and away. Maddox came into a very tough situation last inning. Stranded the bases loaded because he got DJ Merriweather to fly out. Now it looks like there's a shelf cloud moving in from left field. That's not good. Here's the 1-1. Shelley takes a strike. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Maddox looking to keep Burlington to just the 1 run in this inning. Sock Puppets have scored in each of the last 3 frames. Here's the 1-2. Shelley takes high, the runner goes, no throw. Thornton steals his 2nd bag of the season. It was a delayed steal there. Flyboys, not much to write home about on any front in this game. Giving up 8 hits. Which, again, Burlington's offense is really good. So you knew that that was probably what was going to happen in this game. But also just being held to 3 and without a run so far. Here's the 2-2. Down and away. Jackson leans out there with his backhand to get it. Falling behind hitters, running the count full. These are all things that Burlington did yesterday, and that was why the Flyboys were able to score 17 runs on 7 hits. When you give an offense this good extra chances, it will very likely capitalize. Full count pitch on the way to Shelley. Down and away, ball 4. All 3 walks issued by Flyboys pitchers have come in the last 2 innings. Dylan Jackson wants to talk things over with Drew Maddox. First and second for Brian Carruthers after the mound meeting. Carruthers is 0 for 2 tonight, looking to put bat on ball. Got a better result than his first time when he bounced into a double play. Carruthers has an OPS over 900, which means he gets on base a lot and he hits the ball hard. So you know he's due. But really, you could say that about anybody in this Burlington lineup. It's how good they are. Chance for the Sock Puppets to extend their 4-0 lead. Maddox is set. Here's the pitch. Carruthers hits a sharp ground ball, foul past third. Burlington's third base coach, Torrey Pettiford, was pointing to say that ball was fair. I don't know if it was fair when it went over the third base bag. It bounced in fair territory, I think, on the front side of the bag, and then went over the bag and ended up foul. That was very close. But it's 0-1. Here's the pitch from Maddox. Swing and a miss. He tied up Carruthers on a breaking ball, and it's 0-2. And Carruthers wants a moment to collect his thoughts. Both bullpens are empty right now. Flyboys want to stick with Maddox, and Burlington's going to stick with the starter, Steinhaus, into the 6th. 5 shutout innings with 3 hits. Why wouldn't you? Here's the 0-2. Way up and outside. Scoreboard says it's 2-1. It's not. It's 1-2. Shelley at first, Thornton at second. A walk and an RBI single, respectively, for them. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Downstairs. Maddox missed with the fastball. A couple of the Flyboys infielders started walking off. They thought that was strike 3. They may have had a pretty compelling case. That pitch didn't miss by much, just a little low. Carruthers, an even stance in the righty box. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at the slider, and that's the inning. Maddox, his second strikeout. But Burlington adds another on the RBI single from Bromley Thornton. And we go to the 6th inning in this 7-inning game. Sock Puppets are in control right now. It's 4-0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Welcome back to Burlington. Top of the 6th here in Saukville. And the home 9 lead the Flyboys 4-0. Starting pitcher Andrew Steinhaus is still on the mound as we begin inning number 6. Steinhaus, the righty out of Radford, has needed just 63 pitches to get through the first 5 innings. He rolled up a double play to work around a bases-loaded 1-out jam in the last inning. Micah Jordan steps in, hits a soft liner towards shallow right field. That ball is caught on the run by Orlando Fernandez. Jordan robbed of a base hit. That's the kind of night it's been for Greenville offensively. That's the 4th lineout of the game. Fernandez had time to turn his hips and make that catch facing toward the right field corner. And so we begin the 3rd time through the order. Reed Hare stepping up. He struck out twice against Steinhaus in this game. First pitch, Hare squares to bunt, pulls back, and it's ball 1. Hare hitting over 300 on the season. So logic would suggest, facing Andrew Steinhaus for the 3rd time, he's due to get a hit. Here's the 1-0. Hare takes inside. That pitch ending up out in front of home plate, deflecting off the catcher, Brian Carruthers. But you figure 3rd time through against an offense as good as the Flyboys, it'll be tough for Steinhaus. 2-0. Hare takes up and in. And that was really, last inning, the first time the Flyboys put any real pressure on him. Had 1st and 2nd 1 out, and then Steinhaus hit a batter to load the bases. Mound meeting calmed him down, and he induced the double play to escape trouble. 3-0. Hare takes a strike. Fastball at the knees. A good spot for that 3-0 pitch. Some pitchers will try to just lob a fastball over the plate and steal a strike. But Steinhaus, I think, recognizing how good of a hitter Reed Hare is. 3-1. Ball 4. Fastball missed outside. That is the first walk issued by Steinhaus in this game. Reed Hare has 5 walks in this 2-game series now. Peyton Miller coming to the plate. Flyboys trailing 4-0. 1 away. Top of the 6th in this 7-inning game. Greenville is down to its final 5 outs. Sundays in the Appy League, you get the Sunday scaries as it comes up on you quickly. Miller, a right-handed batter, good speed. Throw over to first. Hare is safe on the pickoff attempt. And for Greenville, you can't really play small ball yet because you're down 4. And you want to make sure that you give Ezra McNaughton a chance with men on base. He's on deck right now. Here's the pitch to Miller. Swinging a fly ball towards straightaway center. Jennings started back, now comes in and makes the catch to retire Miller. Routine play for the Burlington center fielder, and now it's up to Ezra McNaughton to keep this inning alive. McNaughton has lined out twice tonight. One at 101 miles per hour, one at 99. Unfortunately for him, they've both been hit right into the teeth of the defense. So Steinhaus will have to pick his spots here. And it doesn't get any easier because Lane Akers waits on deck, and he has 2 of the Flyboys' 3 hits. Righty-lefty. McNaughton takes downstairs. There are some very dark clouds moving in behind us, behind the left center field wall. You can see some rain falling off in the distance. Dark blue clouds. 1-0 on McNaughton. Here's the pitch. He takes up and away. Steinhaus maybe pitching around McNaughton. A lot of teams try to attack him on the outside part of the plate, but Steinhaus has missed too far off the plate. And again, Akers waiting on deck. He's 2 for 2. So I would attack McNaughton here, actually. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses high. All these pitches nibbling at the edges of the zone. Burlington's bullpen is dormant, so this is Steinhaus' inning, at least for now, unless it unravels. But he's shown the ability to escape serious trouble once already. Here's the 3-0. McNaughton takes outside. That's a 4-pitch walk. Both of Steinhaus's walks tonight have come in this inning. First and second, 2 gone for Lane Akers. The only man who Steinhaus has not been able to retire yet in the Flyboys order. Flyboys trailing 4-0. And this is now a fantastic scoring chance. Greenville's second real opportunity in as many innings. That gets a right-hander up and moving in the bullpen. First pitch to Akers. Swinging a fly ball to the first base side in foul territory. Caden Combs gives it a look, but that ball is into the second row of seats. Akers' last at-bat got behind very quickly, 0-2. Next pitch he got was a breaking ball out over the plate, and he went with it, lined it down the right field side for a double. Steinhaus quickly ahead once again. McNaughton at first, Hare at second. Both have great speed. Here's the 0-1. Hare takes out, or Akers, I should say, takes outside. Hare is out there at second base. Tying run is on deck right now for Greenville. Akers just wants to give him a chance to hit. Here's the pitch. Akers hits a high pop fly, shallow right. Combs going back. Fernandez ranging over, and he makes the catch to end the inning. 6 shutout innings from Andrew Steinhaus for Burlington. This is a guy who had allowed 14 runs in 16 innings this season. But he goes 6 scoreless against Greenville. And sometimes when you're hot, you're hot. That's been the case for Steinhaus here this afternoon. Flyboys trailing Burlington 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Looking to keep them there and rally in the 7th here on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Back here in Burlington, it's the bottom of the 6th. The Flyboys trailing the Sock Puppets 4-0. Drew Maddox is still out there for Greenville. He'll face Zach Jackson, Chance Jennings, and then the top of the order in DJ Merriweather. Maddox, the right-hander, facing Jackson, the lefty, who takes a strike. Jackson went 0 for 4, grounded into a pair of double plays yesterday, and he has figured something out this afternoon. A couple singles for him, an RBI knock last time up. 0-1. Jackson foul tips it at home plate, and it's 0-2. There's a really dark gray cloud moving in from the left field side. It looks really cool, but also kind of ominous at the same time. 0-2. Jackson takes in the dirt. A couple Jacksons in the home plate circle. Zach Jackson, the catcher, and Zach Jackson, the batter, and Dylan Jackson, the catcher. I think I would get those guys right. Here's the pitch from Maddox. Foul back. And for the Flyboys, you're looking at now still a successful over 500 road trip. Probably will finish at 3-2, assuming this result holds. Burlington has just been fantastic on the pitching and defense side tonight. 1-2, outside. And again, you figured Burlington wasn't going to walk 18 and commit 5 errors again. But for them to turn around less than 24 hours later and play this complete of a game is not easy to do. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a sharp liner to straightaway center. That sends Reed Hare back deep into the gap, and he makes the catch. It's allowed out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Now here's Chancellor Jennings, the number 9 hitter, digging in from the right side. And that cloud that's moving in is starting to obscure the sun. I feel like there's a chance that it's going to rain a lot very quickly. Sky is darkening. I'm going to get my umbrella out because this could get very hairy. Jennings stepping in, and this game is already official. This is a 7-inning game, and we're in the bottom of the 6th. Jennings steps in. First pitch outside from Maddox. But this could get bad quickly. This cloud has moved in from beyond left center field, and it is now obscuring the sun. Foul back, and it's 1-1. Talked about it earlier, but there is nothing protecting me from the elements. So if the rain starts to fall, then it's going to get it's going to get fun for other people, but not for me. I've got the umbrella up, ready to go. Here's the 1-1. Jennings fouls it back. I'm just looking at the sky. It looks like a shelf cloud, which all I know about shelf clouds is that they're bad news. That's the power of these North Carolina summers. I know it all too well, having been here a couple years ago in Cary. The Triangle is only about half an hour away from Burlington. If I had my car, I would have made the trip. Visited the USA Baseball Training Complex down there. 1-2. Jennings takes outside. A fine facility. They were working on an indoor training location on the property when I was there. It wasn't quite complete, but it's done now, and I hear glowing reviews about it. But they have built quite the facility in Cary, North Carolina. 2-2. Jennings hits a tapper to the right side. Cut off by the first baseman. Throw to Maddox covering is in time. Akers to Maddox. Score at 3-1, I should say, to retire Jennings. Top of the order now, DJ Merriweather stepping in. Filling in for Ariel Antigua. He was a late scratch at the top of the order. But this cloud has really darkened things. It was a sunny early evening game, but now dark gray and a tint of dark blue in the sky. First pitch to Merriweather. Foul back. That is just out of my reach into the parking lot. You can feel the wind starting to pick up too. It's now shifted. At the start of this game, it was blowing in from right field. It is now blowing across the outfield, left to right. Tells you that storm is moving for us, or toward us, I should say. Merriweather takes low and in. It's 1-1. And I don't know that this is going to be a pop-up shower. I feel like this is going to be something pretty substantial. 1-1 on Merriweather. Here's the pitch from Drew Maddox. Swing and a miss. Out in front. And it's 1-2. The breeze is now very steady, blowing slightly in from left field. The wind is shifting. That's not a sign of atmospheric stability when the wind is swirling around. 1-2 is low and in. I think this could get pretty hairy pretty quickly here. And again, it's because I'm outside that I'm talking about the weather as much as I am. Burlington has not given us any sort of covering. Their home broadcaster has one, but I don't. Now at Pioneer Park, we treat all broadcasters equally. 2-2 is line foul. That is wind that you're hearing on the crowd microphone. The wind is swirling around, alternating between across the outfield and blowing in. This umbrella might be in trouble. The wind is picking up. Here's another 2-2, fouled back. Dylan Jackson likes that pitch. And I will take a quick look at the radar. Had isolated storms in the area earlier, and there is a cell to our north. That's what we're getting the wind from. I don't know if that cell is going to come further this way. 2-2 is up and outside. Good plate appearance here for DJ Merriweather. Base is empty, 2 gone in the bottom of the 6th. Burlington leading Greenville 4-0. Burlington's got a right-hander loosened up in the bullpen, so I don't know if the starter, Andrew Steinhaus, will come back out for the 7th. Here's the 3-2. Merriweather pokes it foul to the left side. That ball will find the seats. But I think if the skies open up, I will probably have to take down the broadcast equipment very quickly, because if it keeps being as windy as it is, then the umbrella is not going to do me any good besides perhaps serving as a flotation device. 3-2, one more time. Here it comes. Merriweather hits a line drive towards shallow right field. What an at-bat for him. He's got a base hit. That is a 9-pitch at-bat for Merriweather. His first knock of the game. And for Burlington, their 9th. Flyboys have just 3. But now you can hear the wind. It's blowing my scorebook from page to page. Tape doesn't do you a lot of good when your scorebook has 200 pages. You got to be able to switch between them. And Flyboys pitching coach Jared Morton jogging out of the first base dugout. This game is official. It could be called right now. I wonder if the umpires will try to break up this meeting quickly. Here comes the wind. It's really picked up now. It's blowing straight in, which is odd because earlier, again, it was moving across the outfield. It's a quick mound meeting. Jared Morton, I think, realizing James Chestnut wants this game to move along. But this could get pretty hairy. You see the rain moving closer in the sky, which is pretty cool. If I wasn't outside, it would be cool, that's for sure. Here's Orlando Fernandez. 1 for 3, a single and a run scored last inning. Here's the pitch. Fernandez takes in the dirt. Was listening to the Cubs game earlier. On this day in baseball history, July 13th, 1934, Babe Ruth hit home run number 700. Next one to Fernandez is a strike at the knees. Ruth retired as baseball's home run king, 713 homers. Or was it 714? Oh, now I feel bad because I don't remember. Here's the 1-1. Fernandez fouls it back. I think it was 714. I should know that off the top of my head. I don't know why my gut went to 713. I was wrong. He had one more than that. I don't know that we're ever going to see anybody get to 700 homers again. The last to do it was Albert Pujols. But now all the guys who have the power haven't been able to stay healthy for long enough. Here's the 1-2 to Fernandez. Swinging a high chopper to the left side. Cameron Kim cuts it off. Running throw is in time to get Fernandez, and that's the inning. Maddox strands the 2-out single. Last chance for the Flyboys coming up here in the 7th inning of this 7-inning Sunday game. Greenville needs 4 runs to tie this one, 5 to take the lead on the Flyboys Baseball Network. It's windy here in Saukville as right-hander Andrew Steinhaus comes back out for the 7th inning, looking for a complete game shutout. Burlington leading Greenville 4-0. Cameron Kim steps in and takes strike 1. Steinhaus has been not quite Greg Maddox, but very efficient in this game nevertheless. 77 pitches as he begins his 7th inning of work. 0-1 to Kim, brushes him off the plate, playing some limbo there. The Burlington interns are currently on the field, on the warning track, in foul territory, getting ready to put the tarp down. Let's hope the Flyboys can delay them for a little bit. 1-1 to Kim is inside. Flyboys have been held to just 3 hits after they scored 17 runs last night. That goes to show the bounce back for Burlington on the mound and playing the field. Neither team has committed an error in this game. Kim hits a fly ball to straightaway center, and with that wind blowing in, it keeps it from carrying too far. Chance Jennings barely has to move, and that's out number 1. Steinhaus has allowed 6 base runners in this game, 5 of them in the last 2 innings, but none have scored. Flyboys left the bases loaded in the 5th, and then stranded a pair in the 6th. 5 lineouts on the scorecard for Greenville today, so a little bit of bad luck in there, but Steinhaus has gotten the outs when he's needed them, and that's really all that you need to do as a pitcher. Doesn't matter how you do it. Jace Patton takes a strike. That's a big reason why. A lot of first pitch strikes for Steinhaus. Pitching coaches say it, the best pitch in the world is strike 1. Get there as fast as you can. Patton takes high, and it's 1-1. But it does not matter what pitch you throw. If you can get ahead of a hitter 0-1, it's so much easier as a pitcher. 1-1. Patton foul tips it at the plate, and it's 1-2. In all likelihood, this will be a series split between Greenville and Burlington, which, I mean, these teams are very evenly matched, so it makes sense that that is what would happen. Here's the 1-2. Patton takes high. Danville and Bristol, that game has been canceled. Initially, it was ruled suspended, but those teams don't play again this season, so that game is washed out. Kingsport beat Bluefield, taking down the team in first place in the East, 6-2. Patton chases a breaking ball, and that's strike 3. Last chance for Greenville is Dylan Jackson. 6 Ks for Steinhaus. So Kingsport winning that game, improving to 19-14. If Jackson is retired, then Kingsport and Greenville will be tied for first place going into a 2-game series early next week. Could you ask for anything more than that? Because I know I couldn't, unless the Flyboys are in first place. I could ask for that. Jackson steps in and takes a strike. Another first pitch strike as a Wasp just got caught in a, whoa, he's coming at my face. Got caught in a spider web and then headed straight for me. I didn't spin the web, buddy. Try again. Here's the 0-1 to Jackson. Outside. But Burlington dominating Greenville here tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say. Tri-State losing 10-0 to Johnson City. Ouch. Here's the 1-1. Jackson spins out of the way of a fastball. He's already been hit once today. Not sure that he wants to wear another 90-mile-per-hour fastball to the middle of the back. Not that I've ever felt one with that much velocity, but I've been hit by a pitch a lot, and it doesn't feel good. Here's the 2-1. Jackson takes a strike at the knees. He did not like that call. James Chestnut gives him time. He said something to the umpire there. He did not like that pitch. That was a perfect fastball from Steinhaus. I think Jackson may have been more frustrated with himself, but Steinhaus has been nearly perfect in this game. Flyboys down to their final strike. Here's the 2-2. Jackson hits a soft ground ball up the middle. Fernandez is there. The throw to first is in time, and that's the game. A complete game shutout for Andrew Steinhaus. He allows just 3 hits as the Flyboys fall in this one. 4-0 your final. Steinhaus with one of the best pitching performances we've seen in any Appy League game this season. No runs on 3 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 6, and he needed just 77 pitches to do it. A great pitching performance for Steinhaus improves Burlington to 19-14 on the season. Still 2 games back of Bluefield with the Ridge Runners losing today, actually, so that'll be 1 game back. The Sock Puppets are now sniffing first place once again, just 1 game back of the Ridge Runners. Flyboys dropping to 18-13. They will enter a 7-game homestand tied with Kingsport. Those teams will meet on Tuesday at 7 at Pioneer Park. That's all for us from Saukville here this weekend. These teams will square off as Burlington makes the return trip next weekend.